So I wanted to make a LR, Dokkanfest LR Easy A tier list. Basically, I wanted to go through and I wanted to rank all of these characters based on their design, kind of how fun they were, but mostly just about how good they were on release. And so I won't waste your time. I'll jump right into it. I'll just pick out the D tier picks, I guess. And in my opinion, there really are only I feel like there's only 4, maybe 2 or 3. Maybe I feel like D tier is a strong statement, but this is just from my experience in playing the game. My D tier picks would be Vegeta and Trunks. I think I have Vegeta and Trunks in D tier. I do not think they make anything higher. They're just not good enough. And I think honestly, I don't want to put him here, but like, dude, both these units kind of functioned for content that didn't really exist at the time, and they could, like, this Frieza, if there was like content like there was right now and he dropped with a more modernized version of the kit he had on release, he would be pretty solid. But the content back then was really long, and people might think that this guy and Namek Goku were like big stackers and that's what made them really good. But I feel like what made them good is, like, on release, not on release, on Easy A, they had abilities that lasted for quite a few turns, and then after those turns were up, they were kind of just like pretty shit, in my opinion. Not pretty shit, but like they had stacked enough to where they were just still mid. It was like they started mid, then like turn 3, turn 5, they were pretty, like turn 3 they're like, okay, you're good. Turn 5 ish, they're like, okay, you're actually really good. And then they started tapered off once their abilities started to go. So it's like you needed to have their turn or their time limited abilities up at the same time as having their stack, a lot of stacks up. So they were kind of good in those medium fights, like where like the turn 5 to turn 7 you're reaching like the peak of the fight. I think, in my opinion, I have to put Namek Goku a bit higher. I'll just start going down just in order like this and placing them where I think they should be. I'm going to put them a bit higher just because he's a Saiyan, and I think using him just is a lot more fluid. Frieza, you want to use him next to Big Bad Boss's characters, which, you know, during the 9th anniversary was, in my opinion... Oh, no, 10th anniversary. I'm crazy. The 10th anniversary was not the most fun ordeal. 10th anniversary, right? Am I crazy? Because 7th anniversary... Oh, yeah, 10th anniversary. 10th anniversary, these guys, EC8. Yes, that makes sense. Okay. I'll start going down the list now. This unit, I have to give them a B tier. On Easy A, they were... I think, from what I remember, they were still really good. They just weren't like elite. They were, a lot of Tanabata LRs are not like elite. Like, I feel like this character, in my opinion, like when I used them on Easy A, I really thought they were quite trash. I thought the same about Frieza too. It just, they just had too many situations where they get blown away. And I feel like with the way the fights were working back then, like I was not enjoying using these characters. Neither of these characters were really, in my opinion, I don't think they were all that good. People were going to cope and say, like, obviously we could talk about, like, Festival for this character, or even Festival for this character, technically. I just feel like in, like, the short content that was really relevant at the time, both these characters kind of majorly underperformed. This guy, I guess it wasn't short content, but it was longer content than his abilities, and I really was not impressed with his performance, and I didn't think there were any like major, like, if this guy would have dropped alongside like a big time villain buffs, like I would have very much liked that. And I think this character is, in my opinion, one of the most this character this character highlights that they should start doing limited time villain buffs. All the limited time buffs we're getting, I guess it's for anniversary LRs and stuff, and so oftentimes it's like the anniversary LRs are not extreme class characters, but like we're not getting like I guess we got limited. I'm pretty sure we got limited time buff for this guy, but like pretty much we're just not getting these limited time buffs for villains, which this guy would have benefited a lot from if we had just gotten, like, I don't know, if physical Tierlist, I believe this guy's on his leader skill, if he would have just gotten, if physical Tierlist would have gotten like limited time buffs or something just to make this guy a bit better, or Who's another example? I really don't know. I just, oh, you guys get what I'm saying. Like maybe it would have been too soon, but the EGL first form Dokkanfest Frieza, maybe if he got limited time bus, I would have enjoyed him more. Because that unit, like, he still wasn't god awful when this character released. He had his situations where he could be quite good, but it's just, I would like this character. I'm going off my experience using them. I know there are situations in teams that I guess I'm also going from a free to play experience of I don't have I don't have every single character, and like I guess I technically didn't have first form Frieza back when this guy Easy 8, so it's not like I was running that team and just getting it, but it's like that's kind of, I guess this is like a free to play experience of using these characters on Easy A, and both of these guys I feel like were not that impressive. This guy was just kind of mid. This unit was they were good. I think B tier is good, C tier is mid, D tier is underwhelming. This character, okay, these third anniversary LRs, I'm gonna put them both in mid. I think they're both kind of mid. On release, they were just, I don't know. Maybe I'm knocking them down to underwhelming. I think they were underwhelming. I really do. I think having Vegeta and Trunks like as the top of this makes the most sense, or these two like above these characters, but like just having them in the same realm. It's sort of the same thing with these characters, except I feel like Goku did not this Super Saiyan 4 Goku. He just had really good typing. The EGL typing for both the Broly AoE phase and for the Sin Shenron, really good type coverage that STR Sin Shenron had. Being a Super Saiyan 4 character and just like on both the 7th anniversary LR leader skills meant that at the time he was just really good. Like this character suffered a bit from typing, but they really were the same. I guess back then I feel like they should go back to doing this, of just like not releasing as many guard characters and making the typing of fights matter the way they did with that Sin Shenron type coverage, because they dropped the updated Resident Evil Red Zone for the Omega Shenron, and it's like that type coverage now no longer matters as much because like half your team, 90% of your team is guarding anyway. There's not a lot to say. These characters and these characters, they were both. I say these characters were mid. They were good, and it's just like the reason they all kind of like on release you might have thought they were better than they actually were was because there just were like so few units in the game that could go into red zone and be dominant, and these characters were just mid. They were just mid in red zone, which looked good at the time. So I think this Gohan, I really. I'm tempted to put him up here, but I'm going to leave him in S tier. I think him and Cell, I think they're both S tier easy A's. If you don't remember, on release, this guy released, and it was actually like, he had the, like, his active skill condition was at turn 5 below 59% HP if there is an android category enemy or ally. It's like, that was actually possible though. Back when like the gammas had just dropped, and then this guy dropped for New Year. His Easy A dropped for New Year's, and he was actually like good. Like this guy, it was actually reasonable to get his like active skill transformation, and he was still really good outside of it. And it was like, I don't know, like he was arguably like a top 3 unit. Like when Orange Piccolo was around, like this guy was like still like a top 3 unit in the game. Like this guy was up there with them, and I feel like this Cell was really good too. I feel like them being able to change his transformation condition, I believe from 30 to 40% when you're below 30%. It went from being when you're below 30% at the start of turn to below 40%. He just like a full heal, and then you go into his super dominant ridiculous form is like really good. Just like overall, if you use these characters on release back during one of the most fumbled celebrations of all time, New Year's of 2020. Oh my goodness, because I guess it's in between the year. I don't even know. Do I count it as the beginning of the year? No, I guess it's the previous year, but it was during the year of year of 7th anniversary LRs, 2022. So it's 2022 end of year celebration releases. These are they Easy 8 during at the start of 2023, but like they were really really good. I think they aged badly back into the 9th anniversary. They did not age well, but back on release when their Easy 8s dropped, they were like top 3 units in the game, top 5 units in the game. These guys, I think they're easily up here. I have to put them above these characters because on release they they feel very, I guess I don't want to say, they kind of are about the same level as these guys on release, except these guys lasted until the Fusion Zamasu meta. They basically lasted until Worldwide Download Celebration, and then even then, if like it wasn't the Fusion Zamasu stage, even like after the Fusion Zamasu meta, they like you could still just like pull off shenanigans with their turn of guaranteed dodging. Like these guys, I really hope their super Easy 8s are just crazy, like really crazy, because these guys were as good as these guys on release, but they just lasted a bit longer. The 5th anniversary LRs, in my opinion, these are the most hyped characters they've ever dropped because they felt perfect. You know, obviously there are people who think about like the 7th anniversary LRs. To me, like just Vegito Blue, Gogeta Blue. That is like, bam, you did it. Absolute cinema. Like there's nothing above that for me. And I think I really hope that they just like if you look at the anniversary patterns and releases, they did 10th anniversary was first anniversary, by the way. It was like Super Gogeta, or it was like the year of the first one. It was like Super Gogeta, Super Vegito. It was kind of like that year. You know what I mean? Like you guys know what I'm talking about. They copied the AGL Super Vegito pose in the Tech LR Super Vegito Active, and the STR Gogeta pose in the AGL Super Gogeta LR Active, and then we now get the next year. And what are the LRs? What are the Dokkanfest LRs for 11th anniversary? They're the same as the 2nd anniversary LRs. There's LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, LR Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. And it's like, maybe we move into next year and we're looking at, maybe we're looking at tag, we already got these characters. So like maybe they just drop like I don't even know, like what could they do? Do they drop, because we already got these characters, but how would they imitate the 3rd anniversary? I guess maybe these characters, except they don't fuse. But like if they don't fuse, man, people aren't gonna be interested. They would have to just do like these characters as tags that they're instead of like Super Vegeta and Super Gogeta, it's Blue Goku and Blue Vegeta. Like that would just be what they have to do. Like I feel like that's how they imitate the 3rd anniversary. And then, you know, maybe they do another. I really hope they don't just do another like repeat, because I'm not the biggest Super Saiyan 4 fan, but I definitely think that you can kind of see the pattern they're going with copying old Dokkan. I think this the Super Saiyan Blue evolution unit. This is a solid A tier. I think this is a solid A tier. Just like comparing these characters, like this character was definitely much worse on release than all the A tier characters. But man, were they fun, and they still were very good. Like they definitely had weaknesses. They could definitely be exposed. They just obviously to any locking or sealing. Like this character didn't have like dodge or anything, so it's just like at any point as being a slot 2 unit, the entire fight. I guess they had when you're below 50% HP one time, they just get 50% damage reduction, but like pretty much. Just being locked to a slot 2 unit the entire fight means that locking and AoEs just will, like in any portion of the fight, you know, you're not building up, you're not stacking to where you can handle it. Like pretty much you're just like, you will be able to get exposed to them. Moving on, this is AGL UI is maybe the only character I'll have in Z tier, because he is in discussion for the best aging unit of all time, and he Easy during the 9th anniversary. Like this character, I guess he got limited time buff this celebration, but like even if he didn't get limited time buffs, like I would still be using him on occasion on that the Evo and UI Realm of Gods team, and it's just like 77% dodge on subsequent turns, building 7% dodge with every single dodge, guaranteed dodge on your first turn, revive. I having a guaranteed dodge after you revive is just everything he does is just way too good. Like, he is just always doing something, and he is so powerful, and he just is never a zero. Like he still could be relevant. Like, he is dodge or die, but he's a dodge or die character that starts with guaranteed dodge and then moves on to having a revive and then has another like guaranteed dodge turn. It's like there's in short fights, this guy just, it's hard to expose him, in my opinion. And Dokkan has repeatedly moved back to short fights over and over again, and like he is the best aging unit of like probably of all time. We don't like it's not really fair to say that to the tech androids, because the tech androids have been usable pretty much in every difficult content meta since release. Like, they have been usable in every single one, but also they easy aid, so it's like maybe they're not, maybe you don't count that, maybe you do. It's hard to say, but I guess this guy also like easy aid, and since we're counting that, but it's like even if you're just like I guess you count both. And thinking about it, like, I feel like this guy, maybe, I think him, Fat Boo, Tech Androids, just the best aging units ever. And, like, the fact that he's, like, a Dokkanfest LR Easy A means that, like, Tech Androids on release were that crazy, you know what I mean? Like, they were that insane. This guy on release is, like, nearly best unit in the game level, you know? He's, like, up there with, like, fucking Beast Gohan on release, and it's, like, Beast Gohan has kind of fallen off now. This guy hasn't. He hasn't fallen off. Even without the limited time buffs, he still can be used, and he can still get you some dubs and be very effective in this short content. Evo, I put him up here. I guess he has to be above them because he was about as good as all these guys, except, like I said, he lasted the year, so you can't. I don't put him up here because he really didn't last as long as UI Goku. He didn't age as well after his EZA, but I definitely think that he just like on release he was arguably even better, and then he just like he lasted throughout the year. Whereas I would say what was the difficult content of Worldwide Talent Celebration era? Goku and Frieza, that's what it was. Yeah, he lasted throughout the year. He was pretty fine. I think this character was extremely good throughout that whole year, whereas these guys aged during anniversary, these guys aged during Worldwide, this guy lasted till the next anniversary. Oh man, I'm putting this is how I'm doing it. This is how I'm doing it. I want to put you lower. Because this character on EZA was definitely one of the most miserable units to use, in my opinion, ever. Because this unit was so bad. This unit was just terrible. I hated this unit on EZA. The HP condition, the turn condition, their damage reduction not being... This was an issue with this Gohan, where, like, if you fell below the HP threshold, he was just a fish. And it was, like, kind of... the way it was designed is like, oh, we're going to make if you fall below the HP threshold, you're a fish, so that if you fall below the HP threshold, you basically have to transform. Except the transformation condition isn't fucking just right away. You can't just, whenever you're below this HP threshold, transform. If that was the case, then like, bam, I don't care. I don't matter. It doesn't matter. Even then, it's like, for both these characters, you still want to stack in base. So it's like, even then, let's just say this character's on turn 2, and you get them, they are a fish because they're losing damage reduction. If let's say you get slapped around turn 1, turn 2, they're a fish. They're both fishes because you're below this HP threshold, and then you can't transform still because you're not deep enough in the fight. And it's like, that is so bullshit, and it's so unfun, and it's terrible design in my opinion. That's all I have to say. Buhan was just good. I used him in the Artificial Life Form No Item run against the Beast Gohan fight in 9th anniversary. So him lasting that long into metas was definitely very fun, and I think he was a good unit. Okay. I guess I put you right here. Because you were arguably best unit in the game, but you did not last like very long. Like, you died quicker than these guys, but you lasted longer than these guys. This is like I said, they were arguably best unit in the game, but they definitely had their issues, definitely had their flaws, but they lasted longer than they didn't last as long into the year after their worldwide download celebration. Like as like next anniversary, they were. I guess this is probably the most accurate. This is probably in terms of characters on release and how good their EZAs was. This is probably the most accurate, I feel. These guys. I mean, I have to put them up here. Like they're still good. It's a year later. They're still good. Like this guy wasn't good a year later. A year later, he was already like falling off. These guys are still good a year later. It's a year has passed and they're still good. Like it's hard to say, but like like that just shows how good they were on release. That like a year later and they were still good. But I almost want to bump it because I kind of want to say that they are better now or more invincible now than they were on release, and it's kind of the same case with how they worked, or not on release, on EZA, because it's kind of the same case how they worked on release, where it's like these are characters that like once other characters can handle slot 1 and you don't have to keep these characters on rotation, then they get drastically better. Like when you don't have to care about when you could just I'll float this unit off, or I'll just put them right here and they'll be safe. Like just basically to avoid that turn 3 of them having no damage reduction and no transformation. When you can avoid that, this character is so good. But on EZA, you could not avoid that. That was not the case, I feel like, because they were kind of the slot 1 characters you wanted, and so they definitely got frauded out more on release than even now, even with the more difficult content after GDC. But I still want to put them there just because a year after release. These boys, I talked a lot about how well these units have aged, but this is about my prediction. I'll put them here. This is my prediction for how well this character will age. You cannot underrate the combo of this character being able to go slot 2 on their first turn. They stack. They're pretty much invincible there because, it would have to be a very crazy AoE. I guess I haven't seen, I guess I have seen they can get slapped up by Cell Max, but just like they can, like them being able to go slot 2, stack, come back on their next turn, even if you don't have standby, they can just go slot 1 and handle it pretty easily. I guess what I actually haven't seen is them. I should test it right after this. How would that situation look versus Bio Broly? Would Bio Broly slap them up? But like from what I've seen, like even in like the Jiren fight, it's just like they can go slot 1 or slot 2 on their first turn, stack, come back. You still have their slot 1 ability. Put them slot 1. They're easily tanking, and it's like that is something that this character, just like in my experience, is really, really struggles to do. And like, where do I put them? I guess this is my goodness, I don't know. Where could I put this character? I think this is honest. This is my honest opinion. If this character was able to do that, I think they would be so much better. I think the fix for this character is that the damage reduction values that they get from being in slot 1 and 2, people made a big deal out of it being 1 turn only. That's not the biggest issue with this character. The biggest issue with that character is that they can't do what I just described about the Z duo. It puts an immeasurable gap between them that they just cannot do that. And I think it hurts them a lot, and it makes this character like so. It makes their design kind of like a permanent slot 2 character. If they could just have like 10% more damage reduction, like 40% in slot 1, 50% in slot 2, for their 1 turn only, I would be glad. Or they just built up a tiny bit. I don't even know. Like it's just they needed to be able to do what I said. The 10% extra damage reduction. So maybe you put them in slot 2, you build them up, you get their 50%, then put them back in slot 1 on the next turn, and then they're in slot 1 and they have their 90% damage reduction. Like that would be what I'd like to see out of this character. But it's also like this character has like the 50% dodge in slot 1. They have a 50% chance of 30% damage reduction in slot 2. It's like that that ability, I honestly wouldn't complain about that ability if it was also in slot 1, because then it means if this character builds up, once this character is built up, you can YOLO them at any time. If you build them up in slot 2 and just keep them in slot 2 the whole fight, you can YOLO them in slot 1 anytime and just have a 50% chance of living even the most deadly supers, because you'll have 30% damage reduction baseline, high 50% chance of another 30% damage reduction. And I think that would be very, very good. But yeah, like this, I do not like the design of this character. I do not like how well this character performs. I really wish they were a bit better, in my opinion. I thought they would actually be better than the Z Duo on release, but I fear they are not. And we have these two. Piccolo, maybe about here. This character, about here-ish. Maybe better. Maybe. I'll put him right here. I'm sure the kiddies want to see the 5th anniversary LR above, but yeah, this is my opinion. Easy A tier list on all the Dokkanfest LRs. I definitely think that they sort of fumbled this character. I think this character is really, really good. No complaints about them. I just wish I wish that these characters had more to their base kits besides the Spirit Bomb going on, and I think this character, the GT Duo, does with the stacking. Like, obviously you want to see big numbers, big damage, but it's like I like the stacking for that, but I just feel like they held back a bit on this character, which makes it a bit less fun. And obviously the stacking defense kind of, it's not the biggest, like it's not super fun, I guess, because you don't, like, past, like, once you get to like turn 5 and you've gotten like multiple barrages of supers, they're kind of just like invincible against almost everything. Like, after like once you get to like turn 7, you're just stacking defense for the sake of stacking defense. Like, it's just worthless. Like, you just, I'm sure there's Festival of Battles runs where this character just has fucking 500 million defense, and it's like, once you, like, in Festival, even in like that Festival is the, like, oh my god, the fight is just super long and it just lasts forever. In that, like, fight, like, it's just, you're just stacking defense for no reason because you just don't need it. But stacking attack is just always useful. In Festival, you could always use more damage, and I wish that was the case for I wish there was a fight that was like really long and went on to like maybe like I don't know how to describe it. I wish if there was a fight that built up at a similar rate to which this character was building up, to where this character, it became like, okay, this characters are ride or die in slot 1, and we need to keep stacking them because they need to be able to keep up with these supers, otherwise we're going to lose the fight.